You know, growing up, I was always told to be careful what you wish for, because it just might come true. So, to each and every one of you guys that asked me, begged me practically, to give hotter Halloween takes, be careful what you wish for, because it's come true.
We stopped at a light and saw him walking in that field behind the Lost River Drive-In. Julie said he was so creepy.
Hey, what's up everybody? Nick here, and today I want to give you guys the hottest Halloween franchise takes I have. Now, I am doing this video because weeks ago I did Halloween hot takes, and it started this whole series on my channel. And a lot of you guys that have watched me for some time were like, well, these aren't even your spiciest ones. I was surprised you didn't say this or that. Well, look no further, because here it is. Now, admittedly, I was a little apprehensive to do this video, because you guys know I've got some hot takes when it comes to Halloween, and I never want to try to claim that my opinion is fact. It's just my opinion, though I do know it's liable to scare some people away. But I'm all about authenticity, so I'm here to give you the authentic version of me. I'm going to give you guys the hottest takes I have in the Halloween franchise. But before we do, just remember, these are just my opinions. I am not right, nor is somebody that disagrees with me right. We are right to ourselves, but it does not make us objectively right. So before you type a hateful comment, understand, I'm not trying to convince you I'm right. I'm just letting you see my side. Now, the arsonist in me really wants to start this with like the piping hot take, but I'm not going to do that yet. I want to get my feet wet. My first hot take here is that Halloween 5 is better than Halloween 4. And look, I know so many people are like, how can you say that when the movie has the clown cops and Tina and a different house, and you can just go down the line. Look, I have to admit that there's nostalgia here. This was the first Halloween movie I remember watching. It left a lasting impression on me that has changed my life. It made me a horror fan and made Halloween my favorite franchise. So there's definitely some love there that some people won't understand. Having said that, I think Halloween 5 objectively has some pretty damn good things going for it. One, I think the movie looks a lot better than Halloween 4. I think most people have started to agree with that after the 4K releases. I think it's just photographed better. It's lit better. There's just more skill behind the camera with Halloween 5. I also think that personally, Danielle Harris is better in this movie. I think the role she was given in this one is a lot more demanding than the one in 4. Imagine asking a small child to spend half of a feature film acting with their facial expressions and their body language. Danielle does, and she does a really good job in this movie. I personally find Tina to be an upgrade over Rachel, simply because she's just more charismatic, more exciting. She brings me in. I like when she's on screen. She's bubbly. Sue me. I also think the Myers look is way better in this movie, and the portrayal. That's not a knock on George P. Wilbur, because I think he's great in Curse, but I don't know what was going on with the hockey pads and that mask. Halloween 5's mask is definitely wonky, and it's not one of my favorites, but it looks meaner, and I think it fits more with this movie. This is the revenge, after all, right? Plus, I think Loomis, just like in 4, is fantastic, and the progression of that character is great. I know that I am on an island here. I know most people pick Halloween 4, and a lot of fans say it's one of the best sequels. But not for me. Halloween 5 clears it. My next hot take, Halloween 2 from 1981 isn't a top 5 Halloween movie. Now, some of you guys are, again, probably raging, but understand that is a compliment to this franchise. And again, I'm biased, it's my favorite, so maybe my opinion should be taken with a grain of salt. Halloween 2 is a great sequel. It fits perfectly with the original Halloween. But there are fantastic movies in the series that I find to be even better than Halloween 2. I love Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I love Halloween 5. I love Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers. I can go down the line telling you movies that I prefer over Halloween 2. Now, some of that is just really taste. You know, what do you go for in a Myers movie? What are you looking for? What grabs you? Some of those other movies have more of what I like than Halloween 2 does. But Halloween 2 is still great. I just find this character works best when they try different things, when it's not so formulaic and by the numbers. Halloween 2, to its credit, like I said, fits perfectly with the original Halloween. But at times that's also to its detriment because it does not branch off enough. It doesn't give us enough new there. It really does feel like an extension of a better movie. And at times that is not a good thing. So Halloween 2 is a lot of people's favorite sequel, and a lot of people will claim it's one of the best slasher sequels ever. I'm not even here to argue that. I'm just here to say there's 5 better movies in this series. My next hot take, potentially the hottest one, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is one of the best Halloween movies, and one of the greatest horror films of this century. Now, I know, so many people were just like, I'm done. I listened to you. This was the line. I cannot do it anymore. Hear me out here. Look, Halloween 2 is an acquired taste. I'm never going to claim otherwise. This movie is wildly different from even his remake, let alone any other Halloween film we have. This is unlike any film in this franchise. But even if it's not your flavor, I think you have to appreciate its audacity. You have to appreciate the swings Rob took and truly trying to make Halloween his own. So often, especially with these legacy sequels, we complain that it's cribbing off of nostalgia, that it's not doing enough original. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is literally the antithesis of that. But furthermore, it's actually just a beautifully heartbreaking tale. Like it really is. We get a different Laurie Strode than we've ever seen before. We get a different Sheriff Brackett, a different Annie Brackett, a different Michael Myers. This is an entirely different world. A world where everything is turned upside down. Sometimes there isn't a happy ending to be had. Sometimes trauma wins. Sometimes grief can destroy you. Sometimes the world is actually really bleak and dark. Rob Zombie had serious cojones to take beloved characters, an iconic franchise, and basically say, everything you thought you knew up to this point, no, throw it out the window. Are you going to want to see your final girl rise above it and be the victor? Too bad. Are you going to want to see all of the characters around them survive? Too bad. I mean, I could go on and on as to why I love this beautiful tragedy. Not to mention that the performances are great, the film is photographed gorgeously, the music is great, Michael Myers is unstoppable. It's just a phenomenal film. And I have loved seeing over the last few years people that still aren't fans of this movie at least be able to say, you know what, it is pretty unique and it is pretty ballsy, and I give Rob credit for that. But I'm not going to settle with that. I think it's one of the best Halloween films, and I will not be swayed. My next hot take, and some might not say this is hot, but I think it actually is, because this is a point of contention for a lot of people. And that is, yes, Halloween Ends will age well. Now, a lot of people have said this since the movie came out, and you would think it's like this general belief, like, yeah, people will get over it eventually. But when you say that, the people that hate this movie still go, no, I will always hate this movie. Nothing will change that. I just don't think that's true, for most people at least. And my reason being for that is, what was one of the biggest issues that so many people had with Halloween Ends? It wasn't what they were sold, it wasn't what they were expecting, and it's not what they were led to believe we were going to get for 5 years. It was a classic rug pull, and to a lot of people, they were offended, and rightfully so. You can't promise me one thing and then deliver on something totally different, and then just tell me, well, that's the way it is, bye. But I think that will wear off once we get more Halloween movies. Because I think part of that is people are upset that this is the end of Halloween, at least as we know it. The end of Laurie Strode, the end of Michael Myers, the end of the original timeline. And that doesn't sit well with them. But like movies like Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween 3, I think once you get more sequels, that sting is going to wear off. You're going to come to terms with the fact that Michael Myers was never actually truly gone, that this franchise was never going to be gone and buried. No, Halloween will live for generations, and eventually Halloween Ends will become a footnote in the history of this franchise. Sure, it may still not be your cup of tea, and you may never agree with the decisions that they made with this movie, but I do think time heals all wounds, and eventually those wounds won't be as large when you have 5 other Halloween movies to pick from, some of which you would consider even worse than that one. So I'm not saying that Halloween Ends is going to be a movie that everyone will come to love, but I am saying unequivocally, I believe it is one that will age better. So I am well aware that some of these hot takes have ruffled feathers, but that was the point. And again, you guys asked for it. So I'm going to end this video with this last hot take, and that is one I'm not willing to back down from. That being, Halloween belongs on the big screen. Now, specifically, I don't ever want to see Halloween go to television. Ever. I never want to see a Halloween, a Haddonfield, a Michael Myers, a Halloween 3, none of that go to streaming. I do not think that that is the medium for this character, for this franchise, period. I know it's all the rage these days. I mean, of course, what do most of us do? We watch streaming services. We love a bunch of shows that are currently running. It is what everybody does. I don't think Halloween needs to do it. I think that personally, oftentimes I find myself thinking that a lot of these shows stretch 2 to 3 hours worth of material into 8 to 10 hours, where there's a bunch of filler. Furthermore, it's only one step away from direct-to-video. I'm going to be totally honest with you. 25 years ago, if you would have said Halloween was going to direct-to-video, it would have been a death knell. We look at the upcoming Crystal Lake, and a lot of people are looking forward to it. But why? Because they've been starved of Jason content. Not because it's where they choose Jason to go next. No, if we had our way, it would be a movie, period, point blank. But we'll take anything we can get. I never want to see Halloween get to that point, because I don't think it needs to be. Halloween, in its entire run, basically, has been profitable in movie theaters. Michael Myers is a character that has lasted for generations and continues to show that he's one of the top dogs. So why would you ever feel the need to take him to the small screen? It just doesn't make any sense. Furthermore, I just don't know if there's enough there to even do that. Initially, they had talked about a Dr. Loomis prequel series. Yeah, no thanks. Then talked about a Haddonfield series. Absolutely not. There's just not enough to tell there, especially if Michael Myers is hardly, if at all, going to show up in that series. There are so many ideas that they've had, and none of them I feel like are worthy of this franchise. Now, maybe some of you guys that aren't diehard Halloween fans are going, well, you're giving Halloween way too much credit. There's some bad movies in this franchise. I'm not saying it's perfect, okay? I know Halloween Resurrection exists. What I am saying, though, is that there's more good than bad. And as soon as we start talking small-scale projects in this series, I just lose interest. And I don't think Michael Myers ever needs to go there. So Blumhouse, Trancas, Miramax, whoever is involved or will be involved in the future, do not ever send this man to the small screen or I will never forgive you. You don't care because money talks, but whatever. All right, so there it is. There are some piping hot takes with the Halloween franchise. And I don't think anybody can claim at the end of this video that these were not hot takes. I don't think any of these opinions were very popular or ones that most of the fan base holds. But if you're familiar with my channel for any amount of time, you know that I mean these things and I will defend these stances until I'm dead and buried. But I want to know what you guys think of these takes. Do you agree with any of them or do you find them to all be blasphemous? Whatever your opinion is, I want you to sound off down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.